Welcome to Ask Loz, the video series where I answer your manifestation questions. This week's question is about having one-sided relationships and people always abandoning you, leaving, or not giving you the love you want. If this sounds like you, this will be the video for you. So guys, in this video series, I investigate what your subconscious thinking is from childhood that's causing your now reality, causing the relationships that you have. And when I read this person's Ask Loz form, it was so obvious to me what her childhood would have been before I even read the section about her childhood. Then I knew before I even read the section about her fears from the self-concept course, I knew what they would be too, because of her childhood. So this is my gift, I guess, because I went through so much when I was younger and I had to unpick how I was thinking about myself based on my childhood experiences. I have kind of this knack for reading you before you've actually told me much about yourself, just based on your experiences and also based on what you tell me about your childhood. That gives me that extra bit of information. But most of the time I can almost tell just from what you tell me is going on, what actually happened at some point in your childhood, right? Now, in this person's story, it's so obvious to me why she's thinking the way she is. It's almost astounding to me that she sent me an Ask Loz question, because every single thing that happened in her childhood is now actually playing out, bar one thing, in her now love life. Like word for word, exactly what happened in her childhood. So let me go through what's happening for her, and then she's going to see when she listens to this what her story is about herself based on what happened to her. And what she needs to understand is it's simply what happened to her. It doesn't define who she is, but unfortunately what happened to her as a child is now defining who she is, so much so that it's become her and she can't see it. And so many of you are doing that. So many of you get in abusive relationships or constantly get abandoned or constantly get rejected and don't understand it's because of the story you hold about yourself and you think that's you. It's not you. It's the culmination of stories and experiences around you as a child that formed your subconscious thinking about yourself, that then formed the you think you are. But it's not really you. You can choose not to be that person at any time. You can choose not to believe those stories at any time, but it's your choice. And what you have to do first is decide, I want to change, and then figure out what you need to change. And that's what we're doing in this series. Now, this may be my last Ask Loz video. I'm not sure. I actually find these quite taxing doing these videos, and they're really like coaching. So I think moving forward, I might just do the one-to-one coaching in the squads. So if you want coaching with me from now on, the best way to do it would be to join the Subconscious Loz Squad, my monthly coaching group, and you can do coaching one-on-one on video with me. Video coaching, you can turn your video off if you wish. It'll still show your name, but you don't have to show your face. And people in there learn from your coaching. And it's a really effective way to learn from other people as well. Even if you don't want to learn coaching, you can learn from others. So let's get on to the question. The question is, how do I find reciprocal love? So this person's decided that her story is it never gets reciprocated, the love in her life. How do I find reciprocal love when every love relationship is one-sided? Yearning for security, trust, and more, I find myself alone in love. So just remember those words she used: alone, yearning, and one-sided. A little bit more detail. I've endured a series of challenging romantic encounters. The first guy I dated for 9 years deeply loved me, but resisted intimacy, marriage, and starting a family. The second guy, a close friend, chose someone new, leaving me feeling like a second choice. He abandoned our plans and moved away. Another friend who initially said he liked me later wanted me out of his life and turned mean. Financially, money slips away easily and my career suffers due to self-doubt. I am obese, maybe ugly. Well, what a horrible thing to think about yourself, but okay. So that was what she wrote at the end. So let's find out why she might be thinking this way about herself. Now, I'm just going to point out some more words in the detail she gave me. Resisted intimacy. Chose someone new, leaving me, abandoned, moved away, turned mean, slips away, obese, ugly. Just remember all those words, and then let me tell you about her childhood, and you tell me why she's thinking that about herself. My mother and her boyfriend were abusive. Her boyfriend attempted to sexually abuse me, but I told my mum. When confronted, he denied it. We moved in with him the next week. What a horrible thing for a child to not be believed by your own mother or to be put in danger even though the mother knows there's danger there and to not support you and keep you safe. The abuse worsened. So I told a school counsellor. We were removed from their home. I never saw my mother again, and we were excluded from her obituary. Excluded from her obituary when she died, like she didn't exist. Like the children never existed in that person's life. That she chose an abusive partner over her own children. What a horrible thing to experience as a child. My father didn't want to take care of us either. He would always judge me, sometimes calling me fat, but mostly calling me a liar for some actions I had taken as a young adult. He was 600 pounds himself. He always demanded money from my grandmother, and he never worked a job. So you tell me, from the childhood that person's had, why she might be in relationships where people leave, where people don't give her what she wants, where they turn mean, where they change, where they don't give her what she deeply wants, which is the love and security and reciprocated feelings of love. Because she wasn't given that as a child, and the person who should have given that to her didn't. The other person who should have given that to her didn't in his own way, because he judged her and didn't take care of her either. So how is she going to believe that anyone now that she loves in adulthood is going to be able to provide the love for her that she deeply wants, that they're going to reciprocate what it is she wants, because she never got it reciprocated as a child? Her experience is non-reciprocation. Her experience is not feeling secure in relationships. Her experience is waiting for the other shoe to drop when this is going to go bad. Her experience is being taken away from the love you want. Her experience is people not being there for her and giving her what she wants. So how is she as an adult going to understand that a person who you love can give you the things you want when they never did as a child? So now that we know that's that person's experience as a child, can you see why it would play out now in her now reality as an adult? Because her story about herself is, love doesn't get reciprocated, people aren't there for me, I get abandoned, and I don't get the love I want. People who love me don't give me exactly what it is I want. And if they do, they take it away, right? So in her actual self-concept course scores, in her assessment, the two things that I'm talking about, feeling like you're going to be hurt by others, that they're not going to give you the love and they're actually going to hurt you, and they're going to leave you, are very high. Now, the hurt belief almost always comes from abuse. Not always, but very predominantly with most people I've coached, they've been abused or abandoned or betrayed in some way normally, or sometimes abandoned, but betrayed in some way as a child. Now, not being believed is a betrayal. Not being kept safe is a betrayal. And also getting abused is abuse and betrayal, right? And for her mother not to keep her safe is an awful, awful thing as a child. And her father not keeping her safe either. So how is she ever going to feel secure in relationships with the person she loves? Even after 9 years, she would always be waiting for the other shoe to drop and thinking, is this person going to give me what I want? Is this person the person I really think they are? Is this person really loving me the way I love them? I don't know. That might have been some of the thoughts she had, even in a long-term relationship. She might have never thought they would give her what she wanted, and then they didn't. So when you understand the law of assumption, that what you dominantly assume about yourself, the story you've created about yourself, not you, but your subconscious mind created about you, plays out in your reality because everyone reflects it, then what you need to do is discover what that is, which is what we're doing in these questions, and then change it. So what would be the opposite of thinking she always gets hurt and abandoned? Well, it would be thinking, the people I love always stay. I can trust them. They make me feel safe and secure. They always give me the love I need, and I deserve it. Now, she's got a lot of I don't deserve going on because she's got a story that she's obese. Her father told her she was fat when she was a child. What does she expect she's going to think about herself as an adult when her own father thought that way and told her that as a child? That's a form of abusive parenting. You don't go around telling your kid they're fat. So he obviously had a whole lot of self-hatred about his body and his overweightness, and then put it on her, inflicted it upon her. That wasn't fair. But unfortunately, that's a story she's formed in her subconscious mind, that the way she looks is wrong because she was told it was. So she's also got to tell herself, I'm beautiful the way I am. The people I love me just the way I am, and there's nothing I need to change about myself for anyone to love me. They're going to stay regardless of what I look like. I'm beautiful at whatever size, and they love me just the way I am. That's another story she needs to have. So she's got stories about why she won't be loved, and then she's got stories that when she does get love, it will go away or she'll be hurt. or the person will turn and be mean or change. So didn't her mum go from a mum who probably cared and gave her love and then met a guy and changed? Well, there's a person in her life that changed and went mean, turned mean. Didn't her mum turn? Didn't her dad used to turn on her? If you've got an experience of not feeling safe with your parent, of always walking on eggshells, people will turn like that on you in life. They might get easily upset, you might get in arguments, or they might just Jekyll and Hyde on you. I've had that a lot of times in my life. Jekyll and Hyde relationships where the person was one way and then all of a sudden just changes. And I've been shocked as shit and then thought, hang on, didn't I experience that constantly as a child? Wasn't I constantly around danger in my mind? Not actual danger, but feeling like one moment to the next, I never knew what my household would be like. One day it would be calm, the next day it would be not so calm, yelling and screaming. Well, in her situation, one day her household would be safe, the next day when there's abuse, not safe. So how are you going to feel in relationships? You're constantly going to be on guard, reading what the person's doing, anticipate what the person's doing and assuming hurt, assuming a lack of safety, assuming lack of love. So what she's got to do is completely distance herself from that story she holds about herself that was put in her mind by her subconscious. It's doing it to keep her safe, but it's not really helping her right now as an adult, is it? None of our stories that we hold keep us safe as an adult, even though that's what your subconscious is actually trying to do. So what she needs to do is disassociate completely from that girl who doesn't feel safe in love, who doesn't feel secure, who doesn't feel like the love is ever going to stay, who feels like she's always going to be hurt, that people are going to turn on her. Excuse my cat. And she needs to become the new her, 2.0, the new version, who becomes the new her she believes will get the love and it will stay. So all those affirmations I said before in the video, she needs to use, but she really needs to change the story of herself in whatever way she can. Whether it's writing a new story of the version of her, whether it's catching her old thoughts and changing them when they come up. When she catches what she thinks about a situation right now, it says, no, that's not what's happening. They're not leaving. They love me. They would never leave. My people in my life who love me always stay. She's got to stick to the new story of her and never allow the old story to perpetuate. Whenever you hear that old story, whenever you hear those old thoughts, whenever you hear the old justifications in your mind, oh no, they're just going to hurt you. Oh, this has gone wrong again. Oh, you fucked it up again. Whatever the story is, you've got to change it. Oh, you're too fat. He left you because you're too fat. You're obese. You're ugly. No one wants you. Change it. That's the old story. And if you really want to become the 2.0 you, the new version who reflects out a new story, you have to change all those stories. Now, I don't mean you have to change every single little thought as it comes up, but as they do come up, it's a really good thing to do to notice them. Okay, we don't want to be sitting there frantically changing thoughts all day, flipping thoughts. That's not the aim here. We're trying to get into a new state of us. However, it's very difficult to get in a new state when you're still thinking from the old state. You're still in the old state. You still haven't identified who the new you would even be, who she would look like, how she would think. Try and write down, darling, a new story of you, how that new version, 2.0 of you would think and feel about life. And every time you're not thinking and feeling that way, think the new way. Tell yourself the new story and use those affirmations. Okay, I hope that helped. So guys, from now on, I don't think there'll be any more Ask Loz for now. So you can get coaching in the Squad, my private monthly coaching group. You can find that on my website. And there's also videos coming out every week where I go live answering questions and challenges I see people are having with manifestation in my following, in my free Facebook group, and also the Squad, and in my video questions. And you can watch those here on YouTube. Bye guys. Mwah.